Welcome to the Mid-Journey Masterclass. We're going to be going into a deep masterclass today on specifically how to use the AI tool Mid-Journey. Because by now, I'm sure you've seen lots of cool AI pictures of me and other people associated to the real world, and they just look awesome. Like you'll see a picture of me as some ancient samurai, or you'll see some fantasy-looking version of me. And it's so easy to create. And this gives you a vast amount of opportunity to come in and offer this as a service to your clients. Now, obviously, this will mainly be beneficial for you if you're offering some kind of graphic design visual skill. However, I've even been using Midjourney to create photos that I can add as pictures for my blog posts to create cool interactive looking tweets. So I have a tweet and I'll have a picture of myself that I'll just kind of alter through Midjourney. So you could be doing this for any of your clients, whether you're an email copywriter and you want to spice up your emails for your clients, or whether you're writing blog posts or you're a Twitter ghostwriter, you name it. If it has anything to do with graphics, Midjourney is going to be awesome. Now, this is going to be part one of quite a few different AI-related masterclasses that we're going to be creating together. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. So what is Midjourney? Midjourney is a generative artificial intelligence service. Now, I know that sounds like a fancy word. Basically, it generates images. That's basically all it is. So it generates images from natural language descriptions and or images called prompts via a Discord bot. Now, if you've already gone through some of my other AI prompts, example ChatGPT, you can input specific prompts and get a specific outcome out of ChatGPT. The same is with Midjourney, and basically every single AI tool out there. The more specific you are with your language, aka through the prompt, the better outcome you get. So you can go to any kind of AI software out there and just type in the basic surface level stuff and get something out of it, or you can be Moneybag AF, go in there and make a specific prompt that's going to give you an outcome that's going to allow you to just steamroll everybody else. That's part of why I'm giving you this Midjourney masterclass, because I want you to steamroll everybody that is just surface level, because the more specific you are, the better results you're going to get. So what can Midjourney do? Before we start, here are a couple examples of what Midjourney can do. The prompt on the right also includes photos of the face. So if you could see down below this picture of a person on a horse, you literally type in portrait of a warrior riding a horse in the mountains. And doing something like that will generate the image that you see right before you. This other one, young bald man with black stubble beard as a 2D vector icon. And it generated that. This is the power of Midjourney. Like, are you beginning to see how awesome this is? One, just to play around with it, which all of you should definitely do. Just go around, play with it, create different images. It's going to be amazing for social media. And like I said, providing extra value to your clients. I've already started offering these types of things to clients for no extra charge. It's just a way to provide a little bit extra value to them. So just put together some AI images of them. And it's fun. It's cool. Everybody likes seeing interesting images of themselves. So yeah, this is essentially what Midjourney is. Now, how do you set up Midjourney? Well, it's not hard, but there is a step-by-step process that you will be following, and it's very simple, aka I'm going to be showing you step-by-step what to do, because Moneybag always delivers. So one is you need to log into Discord. 2, subscribe to Midjourney. 3, join the Discord server. And then 4, and that's when you get to actually start enjoying it, aka you start creating. So log into Discord. Midjourney is run via a Discord bot, so in order to use it, you must log into your Discord account. If you don't already have an account, it's free to sign up. So don't worry about, I have to pay. No. It's free to set up the Discord account, so it's free. You got to log into that. Next, you need to subscribe to Midjourney. So access to Midjourney requires a subscription. Go to midjourney.com/account and sign in with your Discord account. Then select your desired plan and activate it. Now, I will start by saying this. it is 100% worth it to play around. So I do recommend going for the basic plan. But if you don't really see any uses for this for your business now, and $8 is a lot of money to you at this current state, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about subscribing to Midjourney, especially if you're not going to actually use it. However, if you do see a way that you can bring this into your business, then obviously the $8 basic plan is 100% worth it, because you're going to be able to come in and see if this is even going to be something that you could use for your business, and aka make your clients happier. So don't sit here and feel like you have to go through it or anything like that. But once again, it is definitely a good value add for your clients. Now, the next step is join the Discord server. So to join the Midjourney Discord server, you either go to discord.gg/Midjourney, or you click the plus icon, then enter the URL into the join a server box. So very simple. Just do that and you'll be good. Next, start creating. You can interact with the Midjourney bot in 3 places: channels in the Discord server, Discord messages with the Midjourney bot, and then obviously number 3 is in a third-party Discord server where the bot has been invited. So it's a little bit different probably than what you're used to, but it's a very straightforward process to start creating. And I'm telling you, if this is something you're going to be using, you are going to have so much fun creating all these different cool images of yourself, obviously, so you can show off to your friends and your parents, etc. But specifically for clients, it's going to be a lot of fun because you can come in and offer this extra value. Because as of right now, this AI type of stuff is still very, very new. Whenever I started posting some of the videos and AI images of myself on social media, people are like, "Oh my God, Dylan, what is this? How can I do it? How can I do it?" So you have the beginner's advantage of people still don't really know what this is. So as always, I like to give you the quantum cutting edge technology, aka you're going to be going through and applying this, and you're going to blow people's mind. So let's talk about fast versus relaxed. The default mode for using Midjourney is fast. You get a certain number of fast hours each month as part of any of the subscriptions. From standard and above, you also receive access to unlimited relaxed hours. These jobs run slower, but are totally unlimited. So while it does take longer, and I'm sure you're familiar with this if you played video games, like there are certain things, like if you pay to play, obviously you can get access to things faster. You can build your city faster. Like I used to play, what was it called? League of Legends, or it was something on my phone. I can't even remember, but I would pay a little bit extra so my city would start getting built faster. Versus if you do the slower mode, so the relaxed mode, it's totally unlimited, but it takes a little bit longer. So every job you run uses up your hours. So every single time you do anything like create an image, etc., it uses up your hours. So once you run out of your allocated hours for the month, you can purchase more on a per hour basis. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't just sit around, like if you're using this for your business, don't sit around just creating, trying to do the leverage the fast feature, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up having to do the things that for your business that are going to take longer, or you'll have to pay for extra hours. So just keep this in mind. And as I teach you in every aspect of your life, you need to be intentional. So don't just play around with this if you're going to be using it for your business. Use it intentionally. So the /imagine command is the bread and butter of Midjourney. Once you start typing it, you'll be given a prompt box where you can enter any prompts you'd like. You can provide images by pasting the URL to the image. Must end in the file extension EG or .png. So that's a textual description and additional parameters in that order. So as you can see, I put an example for you just so you can read over that. Feel free to pause this or come back and go through it so you can just follow this step by step. Next, let's go into some text prompts, because like we were talking about at the beginning of this masterclass, the prompts are where the magic is. The better your props, the better your experience. Better your experience, the better results you're going to get out of AI. And this is even outside of Midjourney. Literally any AI, the better your prompts, the better result you're going to get. So the primary use of Midjourney is taking a text prompt and producing an image based on the text. To get the best result, provide as much detail as you can. Any details you leave out will be up to Midjourney to decide, meaning you need to provide as many details as you can. So if you don't, it's just going to give you some random image. Like if I just typed in guy with beard on horse in mountains, it would give me a cool image, but it'd be a very basic thing versus if I gave every single detail. So let me give you some examples. The subject: person, animal, character, location, object, etc. Medium. So is this a photo? Is it a painting, an illustration, a sculpture, a doodle, a tapestry? What is it? So this is going to change what the image looks like. Next, we need to talk about the environment: indoor, outdoor, on the moon, in Narnia, underwater, whatever it is. You need to tell them what the environment's going to be. And then lighting: soft, ambient, overcast, neon, studio lights, color, vibrant, muted, bright, focus on exactly what you want the image to look like. And I'm telling you, it is going to blow your mind. Now, let's continue though. This even translates into the mood. What do you want the mood to be? Or the composition? Is it going to be a portrait, a headshot, a close-up, bird's eye view? What is it going to be? So make sure to take advantage of this and be as specific and detail-oriented as you can. So text prompts do not need to be grammatically correct. They just need to contain the keywords that describe the image you want to generate. And that's just a small detail. Obviously, as always, you want to use proper grammar, but at the end of the day with Midjourney, as long as you have certain keywords so that the AI knows exactly what you're looking to generate, it'll generate it for you. So here's some examples of text prompts and the images that it creates. So a portrait of a young, strong man, digital art illustration in a modern city on a bright, sunny day. Look what it literally created. A bright, sunny day in the city, modern city that is. It's an illustration, and it's got the dude in it. Next, a landscape oil painting of a cottage next to a small river on a cloudy day. If I ever saw a cottage next to a small river on a cloudy day, it would look like that. And that's all because that is what I typed in to the prompt. Text prompts. Let's talk about style. Because Midjourney has been trained using millions of real images by different artists and sources, you can state a particular artist or style you'd like your image to use. You can do this by including the phrase "in the style of X" in your prompt. So obviously the X, you're going to replace that with whatever the style is. But you really need to understand, this is why AI is going to transform, and it is transforming the entire world. It is leveraging millions and millions of actual images. And AI gets better and better and better based off the more people that use it. So you're literally tapping into a power source that no other generation has had access to, which means as a Moneybag freelancer, you are getting access to unlimited power, but with great power comes great responsibility. So you need to understand how to leverage these prompts and be very specific so you can steamroll everybody else outside of the campus. So here are some text prompts built around style. So a portrait of a young, bald man, black stubble, beard, in the style of Van Gogh. So this is literally what it looks like. It's in the style of Van Gogh, and it fits the exact prompt that we gave it. This next prompt: portrait of a young, bald man, black stubble, beard, in the style of a vintage photograph. So obviously this image is my great-great-great-great-grandfather from the 1800s, obviously. That's what he would look like, the guy in the top right. I assume that is what my great-great-great-grandfather would have looked like. But on a serious note, this is in a vintage photograph style. So do you see how awesome it is based off the text prompts that you give it? And feel free to use these exact prompts, just change out the details. So you can use in the style of Van Gogh, in the style of vintage photograph, leverage this, but obviously you can change out some of the details so that you get the exact images that you're looking for. Now, let's talk about the text prompts era. Each era of history has a distinct style. Well, I guess you could say in our era, like as of the time I'm recording this, we don't really have much of a distinct style. It's just kind of But back in the day, every era of history had a very distinct style. So whenever you're going into Midjourney, you can specify which era you'd like to use by providing the decade. Let me show you an example. So on this, portrait of a young bald man, black stubble, beard in 1970s. And yes, that is 1970S. So you need to make sure that's 1970s. Or you could be even more specific, like 1971, but I recommend you saying the 1970s. The next one is a portrait of a young bald man, black stubble beard in the 1800s. So you can be very specific and tell it the literal era. If there's like a style from history that you like the most, you can tell the AI the specific era that you want to create. So whether it's the 1800s, 1900s, doesn't matter. But what does matter is what are you wanting to generate. Now let's talk about emotion. Because this is another thing that you can specify that you want the image to look like. And based off the emotion you want it to look like, Midjourney is going to go out there and generate that exact emotion in the image. So, portrait of a young bald man, black stubble, beard, happy, aka that big smile on his face because he's sitting down and paying attention to the masterclass, and he's inside of the best and most profitable campus of the real world, aka the freelancing campus. That's why he's got that giant smile on his face. Versus portrait of a young bald man, black stubble, beard, angry. Look how angry that guy's face looks. Actually, the bottom left, for some reason, reminds me of Wolverine from X-Men. Might have to go watch that movie tonight, but reminds me of him. So do you see how you could tell it specifically what emotion you want it to look like? So make sure to specify that as well. And as you can see down below, you can feel free to use these prompts. You can be very specific and get an awesome, awesome outcome. Now, this is the part that I personally liked. Whenever I figured it out, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I messed around with it for like 2 or 3 hours. So you could also specify the overall color scheme of the image. So portrait of a young bald man, black stubble beard, acid green, and it creates that. Or you can give it that electric blue. I had to include that in this presentation because that was the one for me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Can't wait to show the students. So yeah, you can tell it exactly what types of colors that you want, and feel free to use even things like ChatGPT to give you ideas for other colors. Because I never even knew that electric blue or acid green was a thing until I told ChatGPT, which obviously is a separate AI, and we'll talk about that in another masterclass. I was like, give me color, like I literally told it, give me 50 different types of colors and shades, blah, 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 blah. And it generated that. That's how I found the electric blue. Next, let's talk about environment. You can specify specific environments. So with this, I told it to put the image in the mountains. And the next one, I told it to give me it in the rainforest. And look what the results were. One is obviously in the mountains. The other is obviously in the rainforest. It looks awesome. So think about this. Like, do you want it to be in an Asian rainforest? Do you want it to be in the mountains of India? Do you want it to be in the mountains of Eastern Europe? Do you want it to be in the city of London? So, like, literally just be very specific, as I keep saying, and I'm going to keep repeating myself. Tell it the environment that you want to create. Now, let's talk about clothing. This is where you can also get very intentional about it. What do you want the image to dress up like? Obviously, on the one on the left, I told it in a tuxedo. And then on the right, in case any of you want to go swimming and you want to go into the deepest parts of the ocean, which, by the way, fun fact, the ocean is still something that has yet to be fully discovered. Actually, most of the ocean has not been discovered. Just a fun fact. So if you want to ever go to the deepest parts of the ocean, not the deepest parts because we can't even go there, but if you want to go deep into the ocean, you got to put some scuba gear on, aka why this image is wearing scuba gear. So you can be specific and tell exactly what you want your person to wear. Next, let's talk about the framing. You can specify the camera angle you want. This is actually one that I like a lot because whenever I first started messing around with Midjourney, I would only get images like you can see on the left, basically. I would just get the same, almost, it wouldn't be as precise as that one, obviously, because that's a super close-up image. But I would just get the basic image just time and time again, and then I learned that you could actually include the framing that you want. So the image on the left, super close up. That's literally as close up as you can get. The one on the right, I said full length, aka why some of the one of the images you can see literally his entire body, the other almost the entire, and it just keeps getting better from there. So you can tell it the exact framing and camera angle that you're looking for. Now, let's talk about the multi-prompts. Separating descriptions by double colors will tell Midjourney to consider each description separately. Money bag. So see how I put it there, money bag. Each section can be given a weight to determine how strongly that section of the prompt will be considered by adding a number after the colons. The weights are normalized, so each weight is relative to the others. So just see how I put it there. There mustn't be any spaces between the text, the colons, and the weights. If no weight is specified, the default is 1. You can give negative weights to reduce the consideration of certain ideas. The total of all the weights must be positive. So this is a lesson in and of itself. Don't be negative. Be positive. Be a beacon of positivity, as I keep telling you guys. So if you want to reduce a description by -2, you'll need a total of at least 2 in positive weights. So let's talk about those right now. Money bag, and then you can see the difference right there whenever we follow the weights and everything. Like it's a drastic difference. Both of them look cool though. Now here are the multi-prompts right here as well. Money, then 3, then bag 5, money, then 2, then bag 1. Do you see the difference right here? You can already see a difference. All these images, I've just got to say, they're money bag AF. These images are awesome. But yeah, just mess around with this. Mess around with the different weights and see the results that you get. So don't sit here and think that there's a perfect weight that you have to do. No, it doesn't exist. What does exist is you testing each of these and just having fun. This isn't super serious. This is about enjoying it and creating and seeing progress. So let's talk about this. You can run a batch of jobs with variations by surrounding a comma-separated list of details with curly brackets. So you can see exactly what I did right there. If you read digital illustration of, and then we put the bracket, you could use multiple permutations with a single prompt and can also nest permutations within other permutations. So as you can see, we put the brackets right in front of money and then on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can see it right there. And I included this right here so you could just test it for yourself. Because if I'm telling you about permutations and all that type of stuff, you're going to be like, what does he even mean? So feel free to go back to this slide at any point, and you can go through and recreate this. So if one of your permutation options contains a comma, you could escape it by putting a backslash before it so that Midjourney doesn't read it as a separator. A maximum of 40 permutation jobs can be created at once. So let's go over the image prompts. Midjourney allows including image URLs in your prompts along with text and parameters. If you don't already have your images hosted somewhere, you can upload the images to Discord first and then right-click it or hold down if you're on mobile and select copy link, just as I did for you in this picture on the left. Next, let's go into image prompts. Make sure you paste your image URLs before your text prompt and leave a space between each one. So just take a second, read over the image that I gave you down below so you can see exactly what we are talking about here. Okay, now you get the picture. Let's continue. Image prompts. Let's talk about blend. Image prompts with no text prompts act the same as the /blend command, which will take ideas from each of the images and form a completely new image based on these ideas. So you can see how we blended this image and that image, and we got this really interesting looking image. That's actually kind of cool. So you can see we we blended two different images and got this final result. So let's talk about image prompts with text. If you have an image or series of images that you wish to use as inspiration, you can provide the images along with a description of the image. A common use case for this is making images of a particular person by maintaining the facial likeness whilst altering other details such as clothing, style, or poise. For your prompt images, you should use high-resolution images with no artifacts such as motion, blur, or pixelation, and should clearly present the person's features. Ideally, the images will have a plain background to allow you to prompt various backgrounds. Bear in mind that using image prompts reduces the strength of your text prompts, so you might not be able to deviate too far from the images you provide while maintaining adequate likeness. Be prepared to rerun image and text prompts multiple times until you get some options with high likeness. So, human likeness, young bald man, dark aviator sunglasses, because obviously that's the standard, royal blue suit jacket, red button down shirt. Look at the image right there. That is awesome. So we took the image on the left and we added in the text prompt, and then boom, we got that right there. Human likeness. You can also use the blend method using your upscaled images and the original photos to try to improve the likeness. So we combined both of those and we recreated into that image. So let's talk about the Insight Face Swap Bot. Obviously, these images are 100% real. They're not AI generated. The one on the left is me. And one of my former incarnations, whenever I was an Asian man that was still white. One in the middle is me as like a mixture of like a European Viking Indian. And the one on the far right, aka the third, is me from a fantasy universe whenever I used to fight orcs and fight wizards and all that. I was just, just a warrior fighting to survive up in the cold mountains. If you're struggling to get a reliable high likeness image of a person using the image prompt methods, you could use a third-party bot that can replace the face of an image with your subject's face, aka creating these and I would actually say the one in the middle literally looks like me. Why? Because it is me. That literally is me in another alternate universe. But you can see how awesome this is. You can create these amazing images for yourself, just for your own ego or to show off to your family, show off to your friends, but also, as always, and this is the intention of everything I teach you, to make money from the clients you're working with, or maybe you close some clients, you create this type of stuff, maybe a comic book or something like that. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. But yeah, you can use this Insight Face Swap bot, and it's going to be able to create some really cool looking images for you. So now let's talk about creating a Discord server. To run Insight Swap Face, you need your own server. And here are the steps to go ahead and do that. It's very simple. Boom, 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 boom. Obviously, if you have any other questions, you can reach out to me and the team in the chat. I'll talk about that later, but you know what I'm talking about. So if you have any questions about this, just let me know. And then from there, let's invite Insight. In order to access the Insight bot, it needs to be in your server. So open the invite link, select your server, click continue, click authorize. As you can see on the left, that's all you got to do. Very simple. Now we need to invite Midjourney. To speed up the process, you should also invite Midjourney to your server so that you can generate and face swap in the same channel. Click on the Midjourney bot on the Midjourney server. Click add to server. Repeat steps from invite Insight. As you can see on the left, boom, got it. Okay. So let's talk further about the Insight Face Swap bot. Once you've generated and upscaled an image you like, right-click or hold down if you're on mobile, select apps, in Swapper. You can also do 50 per day, so make them count. As always, be intentional. Don't be just messing around. Click, 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 click. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Be very intentional. You can only do the 50 of these per day, so make every single one count. Let's talk about parameters. Parameters are used to alter how Midjourney generates your images. The chart shows which parameters are available for each version. So you can take a look over there on the left. Cool, got it, okay. Now let's talk about the aspect ratio. This is obviously within the parameters. You can use the dash dash AR parameter to change the aspect ratio of your generated images. The default 1:1 square, but other common ratios are 16:9 for widescreen, 3:4 for portrait. Each number must be whole, and version 4 is limited. So keep that in mind. Version 4 is limited to 1:2 and then to 1 maximum ratio. So keep that in mind. Version 4 is limited, but you have more than enough to mess around with. So Moneybag dash dash AR 3:4. You can see this right here. Moneybag dash dash AR 16:9. It created that. You'd see the drastic difference in both of them. So keep this in mind whenever you're setting up the aspect ratio. Now let's talk about chaos. We all like chaos from time to time. The dash dash C parameter accepts a value between 0 to 100 with a default of 0. Higher values cause greater variation and creativity between the generated images. So you can see using the chaos parameter dash dash C. So that's how you use the chaos parameter 100. It created this for us. Now let's talk about the quality parameter. The dash dash Q parameter determines how much time is spent generating the images. So a lower quality means fewer details will show, but you'll use less of your compute time. There are 3 options for quality, with 1 being default. Then obviously you have this 0.25, 0.5, and 1. Moneybag dash Q, which once again is quality, 0.25, and the other is Q1. You can see the difference right here. Now, keep in mind, because I know your brain's probably like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? What are all these parameters? It's fine. And I've used this example many times. Whenever you first start riding a bike, you needed training wheels. The training wheels is this masterclass and all the other supporting resources I've created. But we're going to be taking the training wheels off, and I'm going to start pushing you on the bike. Maybe you're going to wipe out a few times, but you got back up. Before you knew it, you're riding that bike effortlessly. I know that happened to me. Whenever I first started riding the bike, I wiped out like 4 or 5 times, but eventually I got back up. I kept going. And before I knew it, I was doing tricks, I was doing mountain biking, and I was doing all that. And that is how everything that I will ever teach you is going to be. It's going to seem a little intimidating at first, but that's because it's brand new. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be, oh my God, I don't think this is for me. It is for you. That's why you're sitting here learning it. All you got to do is follow the steps that I lay out, and that's why I put together this masterclass so you can clearly see what you input. You can also clearly see the pictures. And I'm taking my time and I'm reading this out and typing it out. So whatever your learning style is, you are going to understand this and prosper. So let's continue. Let's talk about the seed parameter. A seed is a number that is used to create a field of visual noise, like TV static. Images are generated from this initial noise. If you don't specify a seed, a random one will be used, meaning each run will look different. However, you can provide a seed by using the dash dash seed parameter to generate images that look very similar. So Moneybag, I mean, you literally can just see it here. This is without the seed value, and then here is it with the seed value. So without, so it just created whatever, and then boom, look at that. So this is the seed 1, 2, 3, 4. The other seed 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see it right here. Cool. Okay. Now let's talk about how to find the seed. To find the seed of a job, react to the grid message with an envelope. So you can see it right here. Cool. Okay. You can see the job ID and you can see the seed. I've highlighted that for you. And then you can see the envelope there over there on the left. So you react to the envelope and then there's the seed. Done. Okay. Let's talk about the stop parameter. Passing a number between 10 to 100 with the dash dash stop parameter will cause the generation process to stop at the percentage of completion. The earlier it stops, the less detailed and blurry the image is. So you can see over there on the left, stop at 10, the other will stop at 40. Although it does kind of look cool, it's still blurry. Versus stop at 70, and then obviously the best would stop at 100. But once again, mess around with this. Try different things. Find what you actually want to create. And just keep messing around. Okay, let's talk about the stylize parameters. The dash dash S parameter determines how strongly the artistic styling is applied. Lower values stay truer to the prompt, and higher values incorporate more creative artistic styling. So you can see over here 0, 100, 250, all the way to 1,000. We played around with it, we messed around with it, and I actually really like that 100. But the 0 is actually kind of cool too. It's like kind of trippy, cool looking, like anime-ish. But then we go to the 1,000 and it looks very realistic. So play around with the style. Okay, now let's talk about the tile parameter. Using the dash dash tile parameter will generate images that can be tiled seamlessly. This parameter is not available for the V4 model, so keep that in mind. But cache dash dash tile, cool. You can see it right there over on the left. Now, let's talk about the version. So this is, once again, just another parameter that you can mess around with to generate the exact image that you're looking for. So the dash dash V parameter is used to set the version of Midjourney to be used. V4 excels with image prompts. V5 excels at photographic images. And then V5.1 excels at interpreting natural language prompts and generating cleaner, sharper images. So then NIJI specializes in anime and illustration styles. So like anime, like Naruto looking styles. Obviously anime is bigger than just Naruto, but just put an image into your mind. So you can look over here, V4, V5, V5.1, and then the more anime-ish looking style. So just pick which one you actually want. Maybe you're more of the like V1 style. Maybe you're the more anime style. Pick it. Choose it. Mess around with it. Okay, now let's talk about the no parameter. You can specify descriptions you want to reduce by providing dash dash no parameters. And that's no as in N-O. So not no as in K-N-O-W, no as in N-O. So over here on the left, city street. But hey, there's cars. We don't want cars, so why don't we put city street dash dash no cars? Boom, all of a sudden the cars have vanished because you told it to vanish. Now let's talk about repeat parameters. So if you want to generate a number of grids, so images, using the exact same prompt, you can add the dash dash R parameter with a number between 2 to 40. The number that you can use depends on your subscription level. So remember, towards the beginning of this masterclass, there are different levels of subscription. So if you've got the basic, et cetera, it's going to be a little bit different, but it does depend on your subscription level and is only available to standard and above. It can only be used with fast GPU time, so also keep that in mind. Now, what if you want to redo? If you're not happy with the grid of images, which is going to happen, like I remember whenever I first found out about Midjourney, I would mess around with it, and I was never, ever happy with it. And this, once again, was before I had access to what the prompts were and understood the parameters and all that type of stuff. I just didn't really enjoy it. However, once I started figuring it out, I was like, oh, cool. I can just keep redoing until I find exactly what I want. So if you are not happy with the grid of images or just want to run the prompts again, you can click the redo button. So you can see it. I put the giant red arrow so you can see exactly how to redo. Just click that and you're good. Now let's talk about variations. If you like one of the images in the grid, but it isn't quite 100%, which is fine, it's completely okay, you can generate a new grid of images that have slight variations from the original by clicking the corresponding V button beneath the grid. It's that simple. Upscaling. If you're happy, so this is if you're happy with one or more of the results in the grid, you can click the corresponding U button beneath the grid. Now, what about the settings? You can access the settings by using the /settings command. It allows you to set defaults for certain parameters and enable/disable certain modes. So you can see right here the different settings and done. Okay, what about remix? If you enable remix mode, when you click the redo button, instead of just automatically starting a new job, using the same prompt, it will give you the option to edit your prompt beforehand. So you can see over on the left, you decided to click redo, and here's what it provides you with. So take a look at that. And then what about stealth? That's one of the settings. If your subscription allows stealth mode, it can be activated in the settings. And no, this is not you being some ninja activating stealth mode, walking around. No, that's not what it is. So the stealth mode that I'm talking about is when enabled, it will prevent your images from being publicly available on the Midjourney website. So meaning you don't want your amazing images of you in some fantasy land all of a sudden being available on every website on Midjourney. You don't want it to be out there. You want it to be stealth mode. Well, you gotta update the stealth mode. So they will still be visible wherever you generated them. So if you are generating in the Discord server channels, anyone else in those channels can see your images. So keep that in mind. Now, from here, go create. You've now learned how to use Midjourney. As with everything I teach you, your next step is always to apply it. If you have any questions or want to share what you're working on, so please share your images. They don't have to be a bunch of images of me. Like any type of cool Midjourney images, feel free to share them because it's just fun. This is super exciting and all that. So make sure that you share them, share what you're working on. And if you have any other questions, let us know inside of AI Beginner. Talk soon.